Right, so I guess to get the ball rolling, so I wanted to give you a bit of, a decent introduction. So I had a bit of a look at your LinkedIn and kind of all the stuff you've done a lot already. So I picked out a few things that I kind of wanted to go over. So you've been named Young Digital Marketer of the Year 2021, Rising Star Under 25s at the UK Dev Awards, founder of digital marketing agency FB Comms, worked with leading global brands, co-founder of the Get Well app, and all of this by the age of 25. That's not bad. How does it feel to be able to hear that?
Wild. I just can't believe how much things have blown up in just the last 12 months, and keep going from there. It's an upward trajectory.
Yeah, absolutely. And how are you doing anyway? Everything good your end?
Yeah, good. To be honest, I think digital was the perfect area to be in over the last 12 months, unsuspectingly starting out on my own the week before lockdown number one. So it's gone okay considering.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And what have you kind of been, obviously, I was going to ask you, what have you been doing with your spare time during lockdown? But I'm guessing you probably haven't had that much spare time really.
What does that mean?
What is spare time?
Exactly.
No hobbies taken up or anything? Is it just been work pretty full on?
I started stress running
Okay.
about this time last year, yeah. So I'm trying to do a half marathon by April, considering I've never run in my life before last February. So
Okay.
I've put the bar pretty high.
Essentially, look at the Leeds half marathon or something like that. That would probably be a good one to go for.
Yeah, completely. How about yourself?
Nothing in particular, to be honest. It's yeah, like you said, it's been pretty full on. I've been enjoying a bit of downtime, really. No particular hobbies. No, I was chatting to my friend. No baking. That's what everyone seems to be doing at the moment.
No.
No, yeah, nothing like that, unfortunately. But so I guess a good place to kind of get started. So whereabouts are you from? It'd be great to. We've never met before, and I'm sure some whoever's listening to this probably hasn't met you before either. So that'd be great to just know where you're from and a little bit about you.
Sure. I live in Leeds, just out the city centre, and I am from Leeds. I've kind of lived around in London and Nottingham, and then kind of came back. There's no way you can kind of buy a house at this age in the big town. So yeah, I'm 25. Run my own marketing agency, FB Comms, and I love everything digital and social media, probably too much to my own detriment, but it's good to have a passion.
That's it. Absolutely. I think it is good to have that. I think if you're able to do something, work in something that you love, I'm sure you're going to absolutely smash it. And I guess before we I know there's a few points I wanted to kind of go into in your professional career. In terms of, I guess, personally, how would you say your friends or colleagues would describe you? What sort of person would you say you are?
Probably unnaturally motivated and disciplined. I am that weirdo that enjoys setting a 6 a.m. alarm for a spin class before I can get on with anything.
6 8, that's a strong effort, that.
Thank you.
Okay, so in terms of kind of with your businesses, they're very kind of digital focused, and you mentioned that you have that passion kind of around digital marketing. How did that all kind of start out? Because I had a look. You studied marketing at university. Did you have an interest in marketing before that, or how did that all start?
I actually wanted to be a vet. And after work experience and seeing so many cat spays, I decided that was not what I wanted to do. I literally applied to do marketing, not understanding the concepts, because my mum told me that the marketing team at her work had the most fun. Okay. So that's 4 years later, 1 degree. And that was kind of where I wanted to go. And my first job was in an agency, and absolutely loved it.
Which agency was it you were working at the time?
Presima. It's the kind of sister agency of Loyalty One, Brand Alliance, those kind of companies.
And then, okay, so you went from university. So let's say your marketing journey started kind of at university by chance, by your mum suggesting, that they have the most fun at university. I think, to be honest, I think at university sometimes some of those choices you do go. I joined the ski society, hearing I think that they have the most fun. Didn't go on a single ski trip, but I did have fun certainly on the socials and stuff. That was good. So okay, so you kind of started there. You went to an agency, and then how did you kind of move from that stage of working at an agency to actually making the decision to become, I guess, self-employed? And now you've got that accolade of young digital marketer 2021. That's a pretty cool title, I won't lie. How did you get from that agency step to that stage where you are now?
It was an agency. Our client was Morrison's, and it was all FMCG based, and they do a lot of kind of in-person, coupon, postal, and suppliers were saying, we've got all this money to spend on digital. So I thought, that's where the money is. That's where I'm going to go. So I knew that my next move wanted to be into a strictly digital agency. So I went to Digital Velocity, spent a year there absorbing literally everything that I possibly could from the team, from web build, email marketing, social media, analytics, everything that they had to offer. And then when there was kind of, you hit the wall of progression within a company, I thought the only way I can kind of move up is take this offline and do it myself. It was actually my old director from Presima, the first place, that came to me with the opportunity and helped me set up FB comms in the first place, which was really great.
Yeah, I think something with like digital marketing, you can never finish learning, just because it's all constantly changing, isn't it? It's got its pros and cons, I'd say, to that. It's you think you've learned something, or you think you're up to date with the Google algorithm, and then gosh, it absolutely changes next moment. So
it's an iterative process.
There you go. So obviously you kind of learned through your experience working at these agencies. Did you do any other kind of like courses or stuff on the side to kind of help your, I guess, learning progression and eventually being able to go into setting up your own marketing agency?
Yeah, at university, it was quite fortunate that they were willing to pay for us to do extra qualifications. I did the CAM digital diploma and the Chartered Institute of Marketing certificate and diploma as well, which was great to have under my belt. But then I've done the Google Digital Garage courses, and HubSpot have some really, really great courses with templates that I still use today with clients. And if I'm honest, I learned Facebook and Instagram ads from YouTube videos and Facebook groups full of people doing the same things, asking questions, watching other people do it, and then trialing bits myself.
I think with YouTube, you can literally learn anything, can't you?
Yeah.
I know certainly, like I've built a few websites, and you always get to that point where you realize, shit, I don't know how to do this right. YouTube, how to you did those extra kind of qualifications whilst at university. What, anyone interested in getting into digital marketing, I guess, what would be the starting point? What advice is probably my question, would you give someone at university or someone considering to go into digital marketing? Like what courses do you think they should be doing? What should they be looking into?
Definitely look at HubSpot for the free content marketing courses. I know they've got some brand new social media and Instagram specific courses, but I would say look at your first role as an executive and in a really general position, because there are so many areas of digital marketing. You don't want to specialize yourself too soon. You want to try a bit of everything. SEO is its own entire being. There's PR and email marketing, social media marketing. I'd say go general first, and then you know, niche yourself down if you want. I mean, I never did yet, but that's probably where you want to start, rather than picking up one tiny part of digital marketing and thinking maybe I want to go down the other route, and then, you know, you're 10 years down the line.
Yeah. So you're saying you want to try and learn as much as you can and take in as much as you can, look at all the different channels. And I guess kind of you could probably see what you enjoy and what you like. You know, some people might be more,
Mhm.
I'm guessing, like analytical, some people might be more creative, but if you can get it, all kind of comes hand in hand, doesn't it, in the end? And they, you know, if you're working agency side, like, you know, people all work together. Like you get the creative teams working with the analytics teams, and you've got to have some form of understanding of the other channels. So yeah, I think that definitely taking like a broad approach would be a good way to do things. And in terms of, I guess, someone actually going out, and so you're probably quite an inspiration for a lot of young people in terms of from a digital marketing perspective, but probably also from an entrepreneurial you know, perspective also. What advice would you give to those, you know, either at, let's say, just about to finish university, considering whether they go for that first job or whether they set up a business, or maybe those people who are currently in a job, who are thinking about taking that plunge of going, you know, full-time self-employed and setting up a company? Do you have any advice that you give anyone in those positions?
Don't make a stupid jump on a whim. This was planned out for quite a while. Just make sure that whatever you're going to be charging for, you know, inside out, or you can at least pull on people who have the talent to be able to do that. I didn't even kind of hand my last notice in until I had 5 days of work a week for the next 6 months confirmed, and then another kind of few months of savings piled up just in case that all went up in the air, which it did. The corona coaster happened. So, you know, it was good to be prepared. But I'd say get yourself agency side and absorb as much as you can from as many people as you can. Your network is your most valuable resource. Nearly all of my clients have been people that I've worked with before, or that have just seen me incessantly posting on LinkedIn about what I'm doing. So yeah, be prepared for it. Get a business bank account as soon as humanly possible. Don't mix up your personal finances. But it is the most difficult thing I've ever done, but the most rewarding thing that I've ever done.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure it really is. And I guess being able to see those awards come in as well, it kind of gives you a bit of, you know, must hit home a little bit that you're doing a good job. And probably I'm guessing from when you first went freelance to suddenly, when did you receive the award for Young Digital Marketer of the Year? Is it quite recent?
Yeah, the end of January. I mean, to get shortlisted, I nearly cried and rang my mum straight away. And then when it was announced, I thought, oh my gosh, I must be doing it right. Something's going really well.
How did the award ceremony take place? How was that?
And that was digital. It was kind of a YouTube live link, so I'd sent it to everyone. Please watch, but just don't message me if it doesn't happen.
Yeah. So did you watch it with your friends and family?
Yeah, me and my partner, we dressed up, full dress and heels, as if we were going to the ceremony. I made him put a suit on. It
It's
was
got
a
to be.
very grand affair.
I was going to say it's a big occasion. Has to be done
Yeah,
for sure. As you go,
completely.
all or nothing. Well, hopefully you'll be nominated for the one in 2022, and you know, hopefully you'll be physically able to go to an event. You know, I think that's probably one element. You know, you mentioned around kind of your network is the most valuable thing.
Mhm.
I miss just being able to kind of go out to networking events, meet new people, going to marketing events, all that sort of side of things. It really does, yeah, like you said, add value, and it is the most important thing. In terms of the award itself, so I purposely didn't read too much into kind of, I guess, the reasons why you were awarded. Was it a particular piece of work that you'd done, or was it just kind of all round how FB Comms had been performing, or how did it come about?
The I've been sent the awards list saying, oh, you might want to have a look at some of these. And then I thought, oh, young digital marketer. I remember seeing a couple of years ago, I've been following her for a while, Carrie Rose.
Yes. Yeah.
Rise at 7 CEO was shortlisted for that award. And I was like, oh, love to be her. So I thought, I'd go for the same category. Most of the questions were kind of around challenges you'd face and how you'd overcome them and how you were kind of coping with COVID. And FB Comms, 3 months in, my biggest client kind of lost all budget, and I was kind of panicking that it had been a few months without pay kind of thing, and I was just making sure that the client had everything that they needed to continue on by themselves. And then I dropped my rates because businesses couldn't afford to pay it, and picked up this kind of DIY model. So, I'll do 2 months of your marketing for you, then we'll do 2 days intensive training. So you can then pick it up and run with it by yourself and, save costs, but keep going. And I'm always here if you do need any more kind of ads running or anything. So I've done that for quite a few clients, just helping them get themselves up and running as well.
Yeah. And I guess actually kind of going up and beyond, up and above in terms of kind of helping them ride that wave. I'm sure for a lot of these brands, even some of the big companies at Search Laboratory, we did have some clients put budgets on pause, and it's great to be able to see at the moment a lot of these business come back and actually being able to actually get through the whole coronavirus pandemic and actually start to increase their budgets again. So I'm sure you're probably seeing that a little bit also with some of your current clients. So in terms of FB Comms as a business, do you want to tell me a little bit about it? How is it kind of set up? I saw that you have some freelancers that you work with, and you specialize in kind of small businesses. And it from the sounds of it, it seems like you have a really kind of personal relationship with these businesses as well. So yeah, it'd be great to learn a little bit about FB Comms.
Sure. So it was just me as a freelancer this time last year. And I was just inserting myself in clients as outsourced marketing or their kind of outsourced marketing team. And it just grew. I was getting more requests in, and then for more specific things like web build that, I can make an all right site, but then I kind of brought in a web developer to do that outsourcing, to do it properly. I love analytics and strategy and being creative, but if there's something that someone else can provide a better service for my clients, then I'll bring them in. So it just grew from there. So now I've got a network of freelancers, designers, PR, SEO, social media. I'm bringing on another virtual assistant next week, which I can't wait for. So as things are coming in, the different areas can be taken care of by the specialists. So in that respect, it is becoming a full service agency now that we can take on so many more roles, as it were.
Yeah, absolutely. In terms of kind of like, it's great to hear, obviously you're looking to expand into as many channels as possible. What would you say, how has the agency kind of evolved from when you first started it to now? What would you say the biggest differences are in terms of how you kind of do things?
Before, I was doing absolutely everything. I was spinning a plate on each finger, but none of them particularly well. And now I feel like I know my strengths on strategy and kind of copywriting, and I can take the ball with that and then pass it on to someone else who can provide that great service in their area.
Absolutely. And then in terms of like day to day, what would you say, what does the standard kind of day look like for you? I'm sure you have a real kind of range of activities.
So this morning, it was just client meetings. What's the plan for the week? What's the marketing plan? What's the events going on? What's the new news with things opening up after lockdown? So how we're going to do the messaging. And then this afternoon, I was actually taking pictures of my hand for a jewelry client. It's a bit hard to set up content shoots at the minute, so I've become a hand and ear model kind of by accident. So I've set up a photo studio over the other side of the room, take pictures of my hand in various things with various rings on, and then I'll edit those on Photoshop and then kind of load those into a social content plan for tomorrow and email templates and things like that, and send that out for approval.
That is a serious kind of range of tasks. Is it?
Keep it
I
varied.
was going to say I wasn't expected it to be so varied, but it's a hand and ear model. That's
Oh yeah.
that's so actually one question that I actually, you mentioned Carrie Ray's Rise at 7. I think it was her. She got asked this question, and I wanted to ask it to you. And the question was, in terms of kind of FB comms, who would your dream client be and why? If you, sky's the limit, you can choose absolutely anyone. Who would they be?
Probably Kat Methan, who's this Insta famous yoga teacher. I'd love to do a yoga retreats. I'd love a ticket. I'd need the full experience to be able to market it. She can take me to Bali and I will reach my Zen and share all about it all over social media for her.
Is that, I was going to say, is that the free holiday or the actual client?
I'm big into yoga, mindfulness, surfing, everything that she kind of stands for and the brand. But as an actual brand, probably Nike would be a huge one for me. It makes up half my wardrobe. Love what they stand for, the diversity, their messaging, everything they do. Just I really, really like it. So that would be really, really great.
Okay, so if anyone is listening from Nike, there you go.
Please.
So one other thing I kind of wanted to touch on, and I know I only noticed this really recently, and again, I purposely didn't kind of read up on it because I really wanted to hear your view on it. So the new mobile app, Get Well. So you've described it as the world's first app the world's first dog mental health app. Tell me about it. What is this?
It's literally only been going on for a few weeks. So an old friend from university messaged me and said, I'm looking at this app. Do you want to do some marketing for it? And then we've ended up kind of co-founding a full business together. So he already had an app kind of in build. It was a bit like a kind of therapy app for people, because he saw a huge gap in the market for men's mental health services, so wanted to become a huge advocate for that. So this same platform, he realized, can then be used for dog trainers to deliver their training and behavioral help to dog owners, because it's the perfect timing, because there are so many people that have bought puppies in the pandemic without access to training school. They're not being socialized, and they're going to think that mum and dad live at home all the time. They're going to start getting pretty anxious when they go back to work. And with COVID, it's hard for people to access puppy school in person. So, it kind of bridges that gap there. I love dogs. James, the other co-founder, loves dogs. And then we've also got Zishan and Madeline on board. We only actually met for the first time on Zoom earlier today. This has all been completely digital. So we registered the business a couple of weeks ago. We've launched the website and we're in the seed investment round before we can start building this app. It's all just moved so quickly. It's been so much fun just collating dog advice for social media.
I was going to say, when I first saw how you kind of describe, I was trying to figure out, is this an app that dogs use, or is it for for their owners? That's the bit that I wasn't quite sure about. So it's for dog owners who are looking to train their dogs,
Mm-hmm.
and they'll be able to get access to kind of professional support in terms of training via the app. And is there an opportunity then as well for trainers and stuff to be members on your apps? You've got, I guess, the dog owners and then the trainers, or are you kind of selecting those yourself? Or
Yeah, we've got an application form for trainers, but we have literally the two most qualified dog trainers in the entire of the UK on board, who will be vetting all the trainers, because it is an industry without, you don't need a certification to start giving out advice. And even in our survey, over half of the people that had taken the dogs to training, it just didn't work. So we want to be using the kind of industry leaders to help fix dog behavioral problems.
no, that's really interesting. Actually, it's that kind of model of thing. It's so common with, I guess, human kind of activity. Even something like the gym. You've got platforms that give you access to certain gym programs by certain influence, and I guess it's not quite the same, but it's to a certain extent it's the same, but for dogs. So I think that's a really kind of interesting. It's really interesting to hear about that. So what's kind of like the roadmap for that? You mentioned the next stage will be actually kind of designing the app and getting funding for that. Is that right?
Yeah, so we've got a few wireframes to be getting going with. I'm going out to investors over the next couple of weeks, and then we're going to start looking at getting the building, which hopefully will have a first version to trial in a couple of months. But we need to work really, really close with the trainers. What information is best for them to get about the dog? How would owners prefer to access the trainers offline, in person, on Zoom calls? How's best to stage their, the homework in the app kind of thing? But yeah, it's really fun so far.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you're a dog, if you like dogs as well, I'm sure it's a bit of a dream working on that as well. So
Big fan.
Maybe that's the dream client. Maybe it's
Yeah.
not Nike. It's I think you've got it already.
Dogs yoga, running shoes.
There you go. Dog yoga next. That'll be
Oh yeah.
So I guess for you on a personal level, all your ventures, it's really great to hear about them all. What's kind of how do you see 2021 going? And what do you have planned for the future, really? Do you plan on getting into more business ventures? Are you looking to just kind of grow what you've currently got? What's in the pipeline for you?
So I'm sticking with kind of FB comms is my absolute bread and butter. I'm too committed to my clients at the minute. I do have some very big names in the pipeline. Can't disclose, but hopefully will very soon. So I'll be bringing on some more virtual assistants to help out with workload there. But my main goal is to be able to have a setup in which I can take a week off without bringing my laptop. The first year I've worked every single day. I've not been away without taking my laptop. I can't switch my phone off for more than a few hours. I love it. I've loved every second of it. But my 2021 will be to, be able to take that backseat and have people with that expertise do some of the legwork for me, because delegation is something that I have struggled with.
Okay, so no, definitely a holiday is due by the sounds of it.
Completely. One where the MacBook can stay in house.
So I just want to say, Fiona, thank you very much for your time. If anyone does have any questions for Fiona as well, drop them in the comment section below. I'm sure she'll be happy to answer some of those. And also, hopefully, when times permit, we'll be able to, invite you to one of the After Work Club's events also. Fingers crossed.
I'd love to come.
Sounds good. Brilliant. Thanks a lot, Fiona.